passion, freshly picked ingredients, tantalizing flavors, sweet and sour intertwine and dance into your glass. One-of-a-kind arrangements, hitting every note. Why wait for the weekend? It's on at the grill.
Tupelo Smiles is a top-notch group. They're very compassionate about what they do. They've given me the smile that I've always wanted. I've been a patient for 15 years and I wouldn't go anywhere else. I just love Tupelo Smiles.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 6.
Welcome back to Mississippi Live Weather at 6. I'm meteorologist Gabe Maynor, and what a forecast we have had for our Monday. What a forecast we'll have all week long. That's right, the dry conditions that we've been experiencing today continue to be our forecast for that extended forecast. The dry forecast sticks around. I love putting dry forecast and sticks in the same sentence because they're just complete hyperbole, opposites that seem to attract in this sentence because it does make for a pretty splendid forecast. Cool mornings, warm afternoons. That remains the theme. So tale of two forecasts. Make sure to dress accordingly. I say sweatshirt in the morning or jacket in the morning because by the afternoon you can shed it and you'll be okay and good to go. But we do have a weekend severe weather threat or severe weather potential that moves into our area. Just who is under that severe weather threat? What can we expect? And what is that timing? Well, we'll track the very latest live from the Room to Room Weather Center here in just a couple of minutes. As we take a look at the first 12, you can notice 7 p.m. about 73 degrees, 62 by 10. We are going to be dropping into the mid-50s for the start of our Tuesday. If you went out this morning, it was chilly. I would dare say that the Maynor household is just a few degrees away before we turn on the heat for the nighttime and the air for the afternoon. I know the budget is not exactly going to be good, but golly, it is cold when you wake up in the morning. As we get a look outside right now, you can see beautiful conditions in West Point. Oh my word. That is a sunset. Wow, 83 degrees, dew point 52 degrees. Keep in mind, I picked this camera before sunset was happening, so that's just God putting his taste on this forecast. My word, that is beautiful. And as we take a look, maybe we'll get another sunset. Let's see. Oxford, I think it's facing the wrong way, but still you get that orange on the horizon, a beautiful sight there. 77 degrees already, and we are expected to drop into those overnight hours. So another cool start, like I mentioned, for the start of our Tuesday. Let's go ahead and get a look there in Greenville as well. This is a great shot of the sunset, a little bit more west, so the sun a little bit higher on the horizon, but nonetheless, folks up over there in the Mississippi Delta going to be enjoying a cool, clear night. Once again, perfect for watching those Monday night football games, but doing anything you really want to do for your Monday evening. Mississippi Live Weather Radar, if we look out there towards Greenwood, Greenville, Bruce, Tupelo, no matter where you mention, it's going to be those dry conditions once again dominating our area. Rainfall totals, I told you I could do the last 5 days. I figured out how to. And as you can see right here, past 5 days, nothing. Not a drop of rainfall. The closest we've gotten is Tuscaloosa County, but everywhere else just dry as can be. While that's not exactly a good thing for farmers, it is good for getting any of those weekend plans done. Just make sure to stay watering those plants and make sure that they are taken care of because we have a little vegetable garden in our backyard, and if that's not watered, then those tomatoes and peppers, they go bye-bye. So we got to keep those hydrated just like us. But rainfall totals, if we expand that out over the entire southeast, you can see that it's been an active pattern in the Atlantic. A little bit of some scattered showers there in Alabama. But for the rest of us, dry as can be in Mississippi. The only drops of rainfall we've seen are around coastal regions and that southwest tip there of Mississippi. So when that's your forecast, yeah, you can tell it's been a pretty dry pattern. And as we get into our surface analysis right here, you can see that we're continuing to be dominated by that dry air. High pressure over the top of us, cycling in that more continental air, which is drier and cooler. And this front teasing us at most because it's not giving us a drop of rainfall, and it just inches closer and closer before completely dissolving into that 7 o'clock hour. So for those overnight hours, a little bit of that development out there towards Kansas and Oklahoma. Nothing here in North Mississippi, really nothing in Arkansas either. So our neighbors staying dry, and that means we stay dry as a result with this pattern that we're in. Tuesday, you're looking early hours, 3 a.m. on your Tuesday. Those dry conditions continue to persist, and rainfall primarily going to remain in Kansas, Oklahoma, and maybe a little bit of Missouri. But as that front inches a little bit more west, or east, should I say, you can see that the moisture stays right behind it. Not here, though. We are looking at a very, very dry pattern. Those northerly winds not doing anyone any favors when it comes to our rain chances. So, yes, another breezy day filled with those northeasterly winds. So, That kind of keeps things cool and keeps things calm, keeps things clear, of course. So the next 24 starts out cool, 55 degrees, but as we climb through the day, you can see that sunshine is going to be prominent. So here in the Room to Room Weather Center, as we look at that afternoon forecast towards the afternoon, 83 degrees, it is going to be warm, even warmer than what we had today. So if you thought today was pretty toasty, oh, buckle up for tomorrow and really buckle up for the extended forecast. We're really going to be talking about those warm conditions entering back into the forecast. But it's only the high temperatures, low temperatures remain around average. So coming up in the next 60, we'll see hopefully a few more beautiful sunsets here in North Mississippi. We're also going to be taking a look at that weekend forecast, which could have that severe weather potential tag to it. We're also going to hear from the wonders of Australia as Matt is making his way to the land down under and telling us a little bit more about his travel. So stay with us here for Mississippi Live Weather at 6. Coming up in the next 60, there's a lot that you'll need to know.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
March 24th, 2023 was a normal Friday. You know, we knew the weather was not good, but we needed to take shelter, and we didn't have shelter. My husband and almost 2-year-old daughter, Ethan and Riley, they did lose their lives in the storm. We're still recovering from it. We'll always be recovering from it. Matt LaPon cares about the community. He's not just there to collect a paycheck. I feel like Matt LaPon has proven himself trustworthy.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Finally at that time of year where our shows line up with those sunsets, and while that's not exactly stuff people look forward to, my wife hates that time change where things start to come back and our daylight becomes less. So I know she's not exactly enjoying the forecast, at least with the time frame, but at least she is enjoying a little bit of these sunsets, and so are you at home. I mean, taking a look there in Caledonia, those orange and yellow skies right there, I mean, that is such a beautiful sight. So if you're not getting out to enjoy this, you are missing out on quite a show. 83 degrees right now, dew point around 52, so a very comfortable forecast for any of those evening plans on top of the beauty that is North Mississippi sunsets. Winona, 82 degrees right now. Montgomery County staying dry as well with 54 degrees. It almost looks like those trees have changed colors with that sun low on the horizon. Almost makes it look a little bit more red, or I mean, I hope that's the case. They might still be green and I might just be colorblind in this situation, but I think that they are still green as of right now. Colors haven't fully shifted, and so as we take a look at that forecast, of course, foliage, yeah, there we go, green trees. So, whew, that made me crazy for a second there in Montgomery County, but Cleveland showing those green trees, the sun setting on the horizon, tongue twister. 82 degrees, dew point 55, so no matter where you're at, dry conditions are in place, and that wind, a little bit breezy, about 5, 10, maybe even 15 miles an hour in some spots, and that's going to keep those dry conditions around. So Mississippi Live Weather Radar, I almost don't want to show it anymore because there's nothing to track. It's just that dry of a pattern and the clouds are non-existent. So the fact that there's nothing in our skies means we should completely take this out, right? Well, at least for now, right? As we head into the weekend, things become a little bit more amplified. Severe weather potential moves back into the forecast, and of course, we'll need that radar handy for sure. So Park Planner this evening going to be a little bit cooler, 67 degrees by 8. This is, again, a little bit later. This is when nighttime hits, so probably not at the park this late, but if you are, 67 around 8, 62 by 10, and 60 by around midnight. Again, as we head into that overnight forecast, cooler conditions move back into the forecast, so buckle up and have those long sleeves ready. Futurecast right here on your Monday evening has those northerly winds really gusting into the region, so still around 5 to 10 miles an hour. We take that forecast into your Tuesday morning, and that's where things remain pretty much the same. Not a drop of rainfall, even on some of our aggressive models, not showing a drop. So this is a very dry pattern, and the fact that we'll be talking about Tuesday morning and saying, yeah, still nothing out the door, no complaints about that, because anything to make that commute to school and work easier, we'll take it. 54 degrees Boonville, 54 New Albany, 57 there towards Clarksdale, and same thing around Belzona. I need to ask my wife if she's fully broke out the heat on her morning commute because she leaves earlier than I do, but if you're heading out around 6, 7 a.m., Let me know. Are you turning on the heat just yet? Or are you trying to hold on to that air conditioning just a little bit longer? Well, for your school day forecast, I know if I was still in school, I'd be wearing the long sleeves for that drop off, especially with temperatures in the mid 50s. But during the afternoon, short sleeves almost needed as we get into those afternoon plans. 82 degrees still with plenty of sunshine. So if you're not getting outside to enjoy this, why? It's a great forecast for it. You need to be taking advantage of it. So your Tuesday morning still sticking with those dry conditions. And as we push that forecast more into the mid to late morning, you guessed it, dry weather once again. Yeah, I'm trying to anticipate it like something's going to happen to see if I can get you on your toes just a little bit. But yeah, sit back in your recliner. It's a comfortable forecast. So 12 p.m. on your Tuesday, still the most thing that we can point out on our futurecast is the fact that those breezy conditions move back 5, 10, maybe even 15 miles an hour throughout our Tuesday, especially Tuesday afternoon. So if anything, that just helps the forecast feel that much more bearable, but it's already a dry heat, so it's pretty much bearable at this point. So 6 p.m. on your Tuesday, still sticking with those dry and clear conditions. And as we look at temperatures, 83 Tupelo, 80 around Corinth, 82 Senatobia, 83 there towards Clarksdale, a few 86s showing up there around Greenwood and 85 Greenville. So as we look at that extended forecast, of course, temperatures gradually building, but clouds, not really. I mean, nothing in our sky over the next several days, talking about the next 72 hours. So don't worry about having that rain gear handy. The only thing you'll need is the long sleeves once again for the start of your Wednesday, because temperatures, yes, gradually warming, but still going to be cool for that morning commute. Don't let it surprise you. You'll definitely need at least a sweatshirt for the start of the day. But Wednesday afternoon, as we push into that forecast, you'll see that temperatures get just slightly warmer. And again, we'll take every degree that we can get. So of course, you will not need the sweatshirt by then. It is going to be a toasty forecast. I did wear a sweatshirt all day Sunday to see if I could handle it. No, by the afternoon, I did not need that sweatshirt anymore, to say the least. So Wednesday evening, you can see that those dry conditions in place. See, we're talking about life rather than futurecast, because that's how consistently dry things are. So Wednesday night stays with the dry forecast, and as mentioned before, it's going to be dry into your Wednesday night. As we look at high temperatures, you can see 83 Senatobia, 86 Grenada, 87 there towards Greenwood, so showing just a slightest shift in those temperatures, making it feel just a little bit warmer. But this weekend, big talking point this week. I've been talking about how calm things are right now, but we really take a step back and start to notice this forecast a little bit more. Reason why? Saturday night into your Sunday morning, we are watching a frontal boundary that's pushing through the region and going to give us the potential for showers and thunderstorms, but also the potential for severe weather. As you can see right there at the bottom headline of your screen, possible severe weather threat. Timing, a big thing in that forecast. That's one of the things we're going to keep watching here in the Room to Room Weather Center, is how that timing becomes a little bit more aligned. Models kind of all over the place. Both long track models trying to push it into a Sunday, into Saturday night, into a Saturday afternoon. So we're all over the place. And if anything, take that as a good thing, because the fact that they're not getting consistent on those model runs means that our severe weather potential not exactly being nailed down. So we'll take that and we'll definitely appreciate it, because we do not want severe weather. We're just trying to prepare you guys for just in case that does happen. So that is a possibility in the extended forecast, but models still have a lot of changing to do as they head into the next several days. So for tomorrow, no severe weather, not even a drop of rainfall, not even a cloud in the sky. 54 degrees by 7, 81 there towards your 5 p.m. hour, 83 is where we top out there tomorrow afternoon. Plenty of sunshine all day long, so again, get out there and enjoy it. But if you can't tomorrow, Wednesday is your day with those midweek services for church. Don't miss it. That's a prime opportunity to go. Thursday, of course, sunny skies as well, 86 degrees. Friday, partly cloudy skies do return, so that's that little bit of disturbance pushing back into the forecast. 86 degrees there for Friday. Saturday, I mean, it does say 40%, but that 40% is going to be into the PM hours. Might be a little bit into those overnight hours as well, depending on where that front kind of lines up. That's one of the things we're going to be talking about here in just a moment, is the exact positioning on that front, the timing that we're expecting right now, and just what impacts we can expect with this system as well. We'll have all of that coming up in a little bit more detail in the next 60. But first, let's look at the wonders of Australia with meteorologist Matt Laubhahn, or again, should I say, the wonders of San Francisco, as he makes his way to Australia. It's not exactly a quick flight, but he'll have more details on that coming up right now.
Hey there, Chief Meteorologist Matt Laubhahn here. We are in San Francisco, about to head, believe it or not, into the future as we looked across the international date line on our first big day here of travel. It's going to be a very long one. Of course, already actually has been a long one. Departed the Tupelo area early in the morning, and now our next flight takes off at 11 p.m. here in the Pacific Coast before we have a 16-hour flight over the Pacific Ocean all the way to the land down under as part of our Wonders of Australia tour here with holiday vacations. I do want to thank MLM for sponsoring this trip for us. They've dressed me for a very, very long time, and we just are excited to be partnering with them as part of Mississippi Live Weather. But today's just kind of kicking things off for this incredible, for me, once-in-a-lifetime trip. Not looking forward to the big, long flight, but there are just so many things, such as going to the Great Barrier Reef, as well as, we're going to do helicopter rides. We're going to potentially do zip lining, lots of great food, see a rainforest. So many cool things that are going to be part of this trip, and we hope that you'll enjoy going along with us on the ride here. But from San Francisco now, I'm about to board the longest flight of my life. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lopon for Mississippi Live Weather.
This roof's getting installed with our premium roofing system. Backed by our 50-year warranty. And there's a 0% financing, no payment for 6 months options that this customer utilized. If you're looking for a new roof and you need an affordable option, call Absolute Restoration.
When people are fed, futures are nourished. They can connect with the world around them, unlock endless possibilities, and thrive. Join the movement to end hunger. Volunteer. Advocate. Donate. Go to feedingamerica.org/act now.
Welcome back into Mississippi Live Weather at 6. We're going to be tracking the possible severe weather threat moving into our weekend forecast. And here's a look at the latest Storm Prediction Center outlook. That level 2 risk extending primarily west of I-55, but we can see parts of Greenville, Cleveland, Clarksdale, and Tunica included within that. And as far east as northwest Lafayette County, Holly Springs, and even just the northern side of Benton County. So folks need to be aware, need to be weather aware, but this is for your Saturday. Guys, we are in Monday right now. So that is currently about 5-6 days away. So we're continuing to monitor this, but this final threat or this final risk area is not going to be the final one at the end of the week. Again, this is going to be a forecast that can and will change, and long track models not exactly in agreement so far. If we look on the broad scope of this, you can see that we are not really in the bullseye. I would say our friends over there in Little Rock going to be the heart of this system. As that front kind of moves on through, you can see how that has the orientation of a frontal boundary, just that kind of northeast to southwest tilt. And so that's going to continue to progress. And this is going to be really like your Saturday afternoon. Yes, we're talking about Little Rock, Arkansas. Beyond that, though, how fast is that front moving? That remains a golden question. So for folks here in east or western Mississippi, of course, we are watching that for you guys there in the Mississippi Delta and even there around the Memphis region, because that is going to be a threat that moves into your area. And it's the highest likelihood of getting into that severe weather development. If things slow down, though, you'll see this risk extend a little bit more towards the east. If you see it speed up just a bit, or should I say speed up, it'll move a little bit more towards the east. If it slows down, then we could be talking about folks out west looking at just a rainy forecast. So there's a lot of questions that are still in place, and we'll hopefully alleviate some of those here right now. So looking at Futurecast, this is over the next several days. This is Tuesday at 3 p.m. And you might notice that we're not tracking much of anything. A lot of that activity primarily out there towards Kansas and Oklahoma. If we extend that forecast into your Wednesday afternoon, you start to see that development push a little bit more east and right over the top of me there towards Nebraska and Kansas. As we look more towards our Thursday afternoon, you can see what's being produced right there. And that's going to be that low that's basically at the heart of the Colorado, Wyoming area. And that's going to be producing those showers that are basically right over the top of folks out there. That front extending all the way into Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas. That starts to move a little bit more east. And you can see right there just how that pattern shifts. That low starting to have that counterclockwise motion right there along the Canada country line, and that's where it starts to become a dissipating system. What we're going to get is a redevelopment right here towards the Oklahoma area moving into our Saturday afternoon. So let's go ahead and advance this into that next pause point. And there's your low that starts to develop. And of course, that low will primarily develop in eastern Oklahoma before pushing it a little bit northeast there towards the boot heel of Missouri and southern Illinois. But what's happening to the south of that? That front has already started to develop as this has become a little bit more of a mature system. We call this a neutrally tilted trough, so not exactly a positive or negatively tilted. Negative is what we typically associate with more of a stronger severe weather threat, but neutral still has the potential to become a little bit of a strengthening system. So this is where we currently sit, and we'll be able to see that with some upper air analysis that we'll have later on this week. But this is what we're seeing at the surface. So a large part of that severe activity going to be happening at the heart of that system, that front going to be producing our next severe weather threat. And yes, that does include some folks there in North Mississippi. So as I zoom it back in right here to North Mississippi, as you can see right here, let me get it expanded out. There we go. Let's make sure we have that oriented right along the Mississippi River there for 12 p.m. on your Saturday. I do want to point out that of the two models, this is the faster moving system. And what you're seeing right here is a little bit of that prefrontal activity. So all of this scattered activity out ahead of that main line, that's going to be the potential for some prefrontal cells that could have some strong wind gusts, large hail. And I'm not saying that this is a high tornado threat, but the potential for maybe a brief tornado is definitely possible, especially out there towards the West Mississippi area. Again, a lot can change over the next several days. This is just kind of what we're seeing right now and what folks are discussing. This is the most extreme scenario out of the two. So if we keep that forecast going, 5 p.m., this is that prefrontal activity. You'll see that rest of the front kind of wrap around just a bit, but this is 8 p.m. How much instability is still in the area remains the golden question, because a lot of these rain showers are going to eat up that energy and not leave much left behind. So this would actually take away some energy for that front and limit just how strong those wind gusts are or how large those hailstones are and how much impact really comes from that rainfall. By 11 p.m., a large part of that front has since cleared the area, and we're seeing that push into the eastern sections of Mississippi and on into northern Alabama. You might notice that threat didn't exactly include northeast Mississippi or North Alabama. Reason why, this is our fastest moving system. So the fact that we're already into Alabama by 11 p.m. means that that severe weather threat for folks out here in northeast Mississippi and northern Alabama doesn't have the instability compared to a mid-afternoon threat for western Mississippi and eastern Arkansas. So that's the primary focal point, I would say, for a lot of folks. It's going to be this region right here. Really, I mean, this region right here. A very small part of Mississippi included within that. That's this model run. But this can and will change in that extended forecast, and as that continues to push eastward there into Alabama and Georgia, that becomes their problem. And here we're left with a much drier forecast, and winds going to be coming out of the north, cycling in some of that northern air, which is of course that drier and cooler forecast. So severe weather threats include a low potential for that tornado probability, winds becoming, or should I say winds and hail being the main concerns with this system. 60 plus miles an hour possible, as well as isolated large hailstones, an inch or more is definitely possible. And flash flooding, a realistic possibility. We know some folks that are prone to flooding, primarily northwest Mississippi. That becomes a concern whenever you're talking about those fronts swinging on through. Now, if it's a slower moving front, you're seeing that flood threat kind of rise, but you're also going to see that timing change of those impacts. So timing, a big factor in these three right here, and that's what we're going to continue to look at here in the Room to Room Weather Center going forward, is where that timing takes us and the impacts that are seen with it. So make sure to keep it here with Mississippi Live Weather for the very latest. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a heads up on what exactly is taking place. While this threat is 5 and 6 days out, this is something we're continuing to watch here behind the scenes. So stay weather aware, have those layers of protection. Hey, we had severe weather preparedness week last week. What a better time for it, because you guys should already have those kits made, your safe place pointed out, and know all of the precautionary measures that you can take to stay safe whenever that storm strikes. We have 6 more days before the potential storm moves in. We'll keep eyes here. You guys need to get ready there. We'll have more details coming up tonight at 10 with the very latest on that forecast. And of course, long track model runs, we're going to be breaking that down as well as this forecast. I'm just going to go ahead and say will change. This is something that is not perfectly cut in stone right now. It's not going to be scripture as of this point. It's going to be something that we're expecting to be flexible moving forward. So for folks out there at home that are asking questions, of course, we're hoping to answer those questions over the coming days. This is giving a general idea on time frame and impacts, but I'm going to say it one last time, I promise. It will change. So one of the best ways to stay prepared, we talk about layers of protection, Mississippi Live Weather app. Go ahead and download that today to keep you guys as informed as possible. Has our live forecast on there at 5, 6, and 10 and 6:37 and 7:30 right there with our live shows. It also has forecasted updates that you guys can access at any point for the day ahead, as well as the night ahead and as well as that extended forecast. And we get everything you guys need to know. We're going to be breaking down a lot of this severe weather threat on Saturday and Sunday in those videos. So tune into the very latest and of course have that layer of protection ready, free and available on your app store. No excuse not to have it. Now, as we take a look at that broadcast schedule, I gave you guys a little sneak preview of it at 5, 6, and 10 on your evenings. Our next broadcast, of course, happening around 10 p.m. But we also do have broadcasts during your morning, and that is going to be 6:30, 7, and 7:30. Whenever you guys need that information, you guys can have that before you head out the door. I do see some folks in the comments. Todd, you told me that you leave at 3:30. No heat. You're a trooper. Because I would have the heat on. I think I do have the heat on whenever I leave the station after work after the 10 o'clock. So I don't know. I guess I'm not strong like you. But maybe one day I can have the thick skin to power through this cold weather. Anyway, we'll talk more about those cooler conditions coming up tonight at 10, as well as that potential severe weather threat coming up tonight at 10. Lots to talk about. So make sure to see you there and have a great evening. Until then.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
You wonder how they're going to experience the real world in real safety, where all kids are welcome and everyone has a path forward to new skills, advancement, leadership, something they will carry with them the rest of their lives.